Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This video is about IBS exam, what you have to do during the 1.5 days preparation time that you are getting, and other important points which you have to keep in mind so that you can score maximum marks in your IBS exam. So these are all the points that we are going to cover in this video. Without wasting any more time, we can get into the topic. So the first point is repeated topics in all subjects. What are all the subjects we are having? First we can see the weightage. Here when you see this is the marks analysis for the PYQs till now in IBS exam. When you see on an average we are getting 20 marks from each subject in every attempt for IBS exam. So this is the weightage analysis given that you can see. Now we can see the repeated topics in IBS till January 2026. For FR, from previous year question papers, these are all the indices they have asked till now. So in this what they are asking, in these indices, in this standards, accounting standards, you should know what are all the basic sums that are there. You should be able to solve the basic sums in these indices. So for example, when you take PPE, they may ask you what is the initial recognition amount of the inventory initial recognition amount of the PPE using the information given in the question. Like they will give you the cost, they will give you the tax that was paid, they will give you the loss that was incurred, operating loss, that and all they will give you, and you have to find out the value. Like this and all very basic sums in this indices. So that you should know how to solve. In IBS, we are having a lot of topics. In subject itself, we are having 7 subjects, and for each subject, we are allocating only 20 marks. So they will not ask very big questions, like they will not ask one 14-mark question of business combination and all. That will not be done. But they will ask small questions from various indices, which will cover up basically from 4 or 5 indices. So no need to do big complex questions and all. You should be able to do the basic questions in each and every index. They may ask you, what is the government grant received? How will the treatment be done in the books of accounts? And they will ask you, what is the impairment loss to be recognized for this financial year? And whether impairment loss to be reversed? What is the manner of reversal? Like that and all they may ask you. Then intangible assets. They may ask you whether this intangible asset, this cost can be capitalized or not, whether the criteria met or not. That they will ask you. In business combination, how they will ask small question? They will give you the data. Like they will give you the assets and liabilities that are taken over at fair value. They will give you the non-controlling interest, how much shares, what is the fair value of NCI, that and all they will give you. They will give you a purchase consideration. They will give you the previously held investment. Already they have purchased some shares in this company before becoming the holding company, that they will give you. With this you have to find out the goodwill and the gain on bargain purchase. This you have to find out. Like this basic sums only they will ask you. And they will ask you, for example, what is the acquisition date? Like that they will ask you. They will give you some different dates, like on which date the contract was entered into, in which date the contract was approved by the NCLT, on which date the contract was registered, on which date the company took over the assets and took control. Like that they will ask you a lot of questions based on the acquisition date. You have to find out which date will be considered as the date of acquisition. So like this you have to see the basic questions and basic sums. That will help you in these indices. So, in operating segment, they may ask you what are all the reportable segments, whether any mistake is there in the segment reporting done by the company. Then, events after reporting period, this is an important index. They will ask questions like whether it is an adjusting event or not, whether the management should adjust it or not, whether just giving the disclosure is enough. Like that, they will ask you questions from these indices, not complex questions, but basic questions from each index. And another trend is that they will ask you the disclosure of an index. For example, some question will be there related to intangible asset. They will give some information. They will ask in the question that write the disclosures that the company should give in the financial statements according to Ind AS 38. Like that they will ask you. Ind AS 38 is related to intangible asset. So when you have the study material with you, you can easily find out the disclosures and write that. For that you will get some 5 marks question, means you will get the 5 marks. You can attend that 5 mark properly because the direct question is there from the disclosure, that you can find it out easily in the study material. And when you are following any faculty books and all, in those faculty books you will not find the disclosures and all. In faculty books, these are made to shorten the study material and then include all the points which are relevant for solving the sums. So this will not contain the detailed disclosures and all. So for disclosures, that kind of questions, study material will be the best. They will directly ask, like for example, they will ask what are all the factors to determine the useful life as per Ind AS 16. So like this, we are having one direct point in the study material. When you directly take the study material, you can write it. So, but you will not find this kind of theory questions in the faculty books. So that also you have to keep in mind. So this is the importance of IC study material in IBS exam. So you have to use IC study material for FR. So these topics you have to cover like this, basic sums plus the disclosures you have to see where the disclosures are there and whether you will be able to write that or not. For example, if they ask some index and they will ask the disclosure, whether you will be able to write that or not, how much big is the disclosure. Try to see whether you can shorten it and write it in the exam. So like that you have to take care of the disclosure plus the basic sums. So second subject, advanced financial management. Here when you see they are asking questions from all these topics. Mainly when you see they are asking from security valuation. Then they are asking from the foreign exchange, and they are asking from the merger acquisition. So these three are mainly they are asking, and apart from this also they are asking a lot of questions. That list I have given here. The FR I have taken only from PYQ. FR I have taken only from the PYQ, I have taken this list. But for AFM, I have taken this list from VYQ, RTP, MTP, everything I have included and taken this list. So these topics you should know. These are all the topics asked till now. So this you can see. Like for example, bond portfolio management. They are asking bond refunding decision. They will ask the bond valuation. They will ask the interest rate risk, and then they will ask the duration of bond, the average duration that we have to find. Then they will ask the price of the share using dividend growth model. They will ask the price of the share using Walter model. They will ask the NPV whether it is positive or not. They will ask the certainty equivalent method. You have to find out the NPV. Like that they will ask you. Then in forex they will frequently ask the forward versus money market. Which hedging method the company should use? Forward cover or money market cover? Then hedging, forecasting, these topics also they will ask you. Then merger acquisition, they will frequently ask merger acquisition. In that, what topic they will ask? They will ask the exchange ratio. What exchange ratio you have to use? Then what is the post-merger market capitalization? Like that they may ask you. What is the pre-merger earnings per share? Like that they may ask you. Then what are the number of shares to be issued based on the exchange ratio? Like that they will ask you. This and all they are having the chance to ask the questions. And like this, from each and every topic here they will ask the sums. In AFM also the same thing only. They will not ask one question for 14 marks. That is not going to happen. That we have already done in AFM exam itself. Here what they will ask is, they will ask small questions which are capable of being included in MCQ and which are worthy for 5 marks descriptive question. For that length only they will ask the questions. For that length only the answers will be there for the questions in which they are asking. So in AFM also they will ask the theory. In AFM, when you see, we will have theory in each and every chapter. In each and every chapter, they will explain the theory. Then only we will move to the practical sums according to the study material when you see. But we are having separate theory chapters also, like startup finance when you take, or risk management when you take. In that, majority theory only will be there. But in risk management when you see, they will be having one practical sum like value at risk. But majority theory only will be there. Startup finance and some other chapters like that, you will have only theory. In those only we will be normally reading the theory. When you expect theory in normal AFM exam, we will expect from those 4 chapters only. But when you are seeing IBS exam, they are asking theory from the practical chapters also. For example, when you see merger and acquisition chapter, it is a practical sums chapter. Majority practical sums only we will be practicing that chapter normally. But in that chapter also, we will have a lot of theory in the study material. From that theory, they are asking the question. Not just the individual theory chapters. They are asking questions, theory questions from the theory given in the study material for the practical sums oriented chapters. So that also you should keep in mind. They will ask theory questions from anywhere. So you should keep the index for FR, AFM and all, and you should be searching the question from the index. So this is the repeated questions, repeated topics in AFM. Next, in audit, when you see this also I have taken the list from PYQ plus RTP plus MTP. I have taken this list. But when you see here, you will have a lot of indices. Only just 2 or 3 indices only got left out. They asked the questions from all the standards on auditing. Sorry, standards on auditing. They are asking the questions. So it is not possible for us to read each and every standard. But what we can do is that in 1.5 days you cannot master audit and all for IBS. But what you can do is you can understand the basics of auditing. Each and every standard on auditing we are having, or standard on assurance engagement we are having, standard on related services we are having, review standards, standard on review engagement you are having. You can understand the logic why we are having this standard, what is inside the standard that you should know, and what are the reporting requirements of each standard. Mainly reporting requirements they may ask frequently, so that you should know. For each standard, what is the reporting requirement? When you have to give adverse opinion, when you have to give disclaimer of opinion, or else when you have to give the opinion, when you have to give the conclusion, when you are not explaining any, when you are not giving any opinion, like non-assurance engagement, like that and all you should know. So these are all the basics that you should know. Only then you can approach the audit. When they are asking some question in the audit, directly when you see the study material, you should be able to take the chapter, take the topic and write the answer. So that means you should know, you should understand about the standards. So that understanding you should know. So they are asking a lot of questions in audit from various topics. So we cannot take a single list, but these basics you can learn. That's all about audit. In AFM and FR also, I am not saying other than this we will not get any questions. Like that I am not saying. There will be questions other than this also, but you have to cover something during the 1.5 days. So the first priority you can give to the questions which they have already asked. So that is the logic I am saying. I am not saying if you just cover this, you will be able to attend 100% of the question paper. Like that I am not saying. But first step is covering these things. Next, we can see CTA. In CTA, when you see, we are having a lot of topics, and those topics are related. When you see each and every topic, you can see a lot of topics there. This much sections they are asking, but we cannot categorize by topic. Instead, we have to categorize by the chapters. Here, when you see, I have marked the chapters. These three directors chapters in company law, the first three directors chapters: appointment and qualification, appointment and remuneration, meetings of board and its powers. These three. Then this chapter 5: compromise, arrangement, amalgamation, prevention of oppression. These 5 chapters in the company law are important for IBS. They are asking questions from these chapters only in company law frequently. Next, module 2: securities laws. When you see the LODR regulations they are asking, takeover regulations they are asking, and insider trading regulations they are asking. So these three you have to do compulsorily. Then economic laws, all the 3 economic laws are very important. They are asking many questions from this. So this also you have to cover fully. When you are studying CTA, first cover these topics, these chapters, these 5 chapters, these regulations, and this economic laws. Give first priority for completing this. After that, you can read the remaining. So here also the same thing only. I'm not going to say that you will not even get one question from these chapters. That guarantee I'm not going to give. But when you see, they're frequently asking from these topics. So first priority how to give to these topics. So that's all about set A. Next, when you see set B, in set B we are having 2 types of questions. Set B we can get either practical questions, practical sums which you can solve using formulas or concepts that you can solve. The second type which we are having is analysis type questions. We will see in detail about this analysis type questions later, but first I will give you the list of practical sums, and then theory also they may ask you. Analysis type questions plus theory is the second category. So when you see practical sums here, this is the list of topics from which they have asked practical sums till now, and then they are asking it frequently. So throughput accounting, transfer pricing, residual income they are asking, CVP analysis, economic value added. So pretty much these only they are asking. So this you can see, and when you are preparing for SETB during the 1.5 days, give priority to these practical sums first. Then you can cover the remaining. So these practical sums you have to do. They may ask you like calculate the residual income, then calculate the economic value added. They may ask. Then do the Pareto analysis for this company. They may ask you like that. Calculate the return on investment. Calculate the weighted average cost of capital and net operating profit after tax. Like that, they may ask you. Profit reconciliation statement, standard costing. I have already asked once in the exam that standard costing. You have to find out the variance, then you have to reconcile the budgeted profit and actual profit. So this and all they may ask you. This is the list of practical topics in IBS which you have to cover first. This is the first priority topics. So these topics are from SETB first priority. This PDF and all I will give it in the Telegram channel. You can join the Telegram channel using the link. The link will be given in the description and in the pinned comment. So this is for the practical sums. Then when you see the analysis type questions and theory. So theory, you have to cover all the theory only. Mostly all the theory are important, but give special importance to the theory in chapter 1, like Porter's 5 forces model, business model canvas, value chain. This and all they are asking very frequently, and they are giving some high importance to the analysis to the models in chapter number 1. So that is important. Now set A, set B, everything we saw. Now the next thing is. Okay, now the next thing is how you have to prepare for CTA and CB. Before that, we can see what you have to do in that 1.5 days. We have seen all the repeated topics in all subjects, how you have to study during the 1.5 days. So the first thing is today, 10th May 2026, when you are preparing, what you have to do is that you have to prepare for CTA and CB. How you have to prepare? We have super fast revisions in our YouTube channel. For example, CTA when you take, you have 2 videos. One is English, one is Hindi plus English. So here what we have done is, whatever the chapters that I have given to you in the CTA, which you have to cover in the first priority, those chapters I have given an overview revision. Not an in-depth revision, but an overview revision which you need to know for attempting IBS. What are all the basic things that you need to know? What is there in that provision? So like that, I have given a quick overview revision in 4 hours for that entire chapters which I mentioned previously. So here in this 4 hours also, when you see fully, 4 hours will not be the chapter discussion. In that 4 hours, some 2.5 to 3 hours only will be the points discussion, the chapters which I told you. Remaining time, I would have solved the January 2026 PYQ using the index. I have provided the index for set A and set B. In that, the January 26 PYQ I would have solved using the index and in the IC study material. How you have to find out the questions using the index when you are in the exam hall. That I would have told you. For set A and set B, we are having index. That is in our Telegram channel. For set A, we are having the detailed index in which all the subtopics will be covered. All the subheadings will be there in that detailed index. So whatever the topics that you need to know, whatever the questions that you see in the exam, you have to find out the page number of that particular topic in the study material. That index we are having, that is called as the detailed index. Then we are having the time limit index. whatever the time limit questions that are there, in which time limit you have to file the annual return, within which time you have to file this report, that report, everything is given in this time limit index. Then penalty index, whatever the penalties, what is the penalty applicable for this company for insider trading breach, like that, those penalties, everything in company law, securities law, economic laws covered in this penalty index. Then A to Z index, all the topics will be arranged in the alphabetical order, A to Z order in this index. So that also will be helpful for you. But I will be giving the first priority to the detailed index. In detailed index, definitely each and every topic will be covered, and I will give you a guarantee that you can find out that particular topic in this index. But when you see A to Z index, some topics might not be there. So that will be a little uncomfortable to take that risk. So I will prefer the detailed index first, and if you are comfortable, then you can use the A to Z index. This also I am telling beforehand. Now, set B, when you are taking, we are having the detailed index and in the formula sheet. Formula sheet will be the place where all the points related to the practical sums will be covered in that formula sheet. Chapter wise it will be there, and you can find out all the points. When you want to solve the question related to cost of quality, all the points will be given in the formula sheet. When you want to solve the question in standard costing, all the standard costing formulas will be given in one place in the formula sheet. You don't need to turn the pages of study material to find out the formulas. So it will be covered in one place in the formula sheet. Then detailed index. If you want to find out the page number of business model canvas, you can take the detailed index, find out that page number, then go to the study material instead of blindly turning the study material pages to find out the topic. So this will help you. This index will help you when you are seeing this marathon itself. You have to keep the ICS study material in your hand. And then when I am explaining itself, I will highlight a lot of points in the study material that you have to highlight when you are watching. Also, you have to highlight in the study material which you are having. Then only you will get a familiarity with the study material. You will know that we have covered the study material. We have seen these points somewhere. Like that, you will have that feeling. Then I will be noting a lot of points also in between the lectures. So I will be noting these points you have to write like that. I will tell you those points you have to mark it down in your study material. Those are the key points in the provisions. When you are taking that provision, when you are in the exam hall, when you are seeing that key provision, you will be able to quickly find out the answer. That particular limit or that particular key point I would have noted down. That you should also note down in your study material in your hand. So this is what you have to do during when you are watching the marathon. So this is what I have given for set A. You can watch this and prepare for your set A. Then for set B also we are having in the same manner, but it is not possible to cover all the theory and all the practical sums within 4 hours. So what you can do is that I have covered only theory in this 4 hours marathon. But what you can do is that you can use this for theory. Then you have to prepare this practical sums by yourself only. Or I also have the detailed marathon for that. You can use that detailed marathon, or by yourself you can cover the practical sums. This is for the theory purpose only. I have covered all the theory in such a manner that you will be getting an overview of the topics. You will know what are all the topics in what chapter and what is there inside the topic. A brief overview you will get. So that is what I have given for set B. If you want to learn in-depth theory in set B, you can see this 12-hour marathon, which I have given for costing theory marathon, which will cover the entire theory in set B in 12 hours. So for selected chapters, you can watch this also if you want. Then this costing theory marathon, that is in English, this is for this 12 hours marathon. Then this we are also having in Hindi, this 12 hours marathon. But practical sums we are having only English detailed marathon. There is no other marathon for practical sums for set B in our channel. So that's all about this. This you can use to revise set A and set B. Set A you can revise completely from this itself. All the chapters, important chapters that I have listed will be covered here. Set B, you can use this for theory. So now we saw what you have to do for set A and set B using super fast revision. That 4 hours revision, you have to cover set A and set B on 10th May, that is today. Then tomorrow what you can do, 11th May, when you are writing only group 2, what you have to do is that FR, AFM, audit. You should know a little bit. What you can do for that, you can try to solve the basic sums. For FR, whatever the topics index you have given, you should know that you should make sure that you know all the basic sums in that index and go through the disclosures which I already said when we are discussing the repeated topics in FR. Then AFM also you should know all the basic sums. Audit also you have to do the basic learning which I told you when we are seeing the repeated questions that you have to do on 11th May. After doing all this, then what you have to do? Then you have to do the search training. What is the meaning of search training? You have to take a PYQ. And then read each and every question, take a case study, keep a timer, like 1 hour timer you can keep. When you are having the exam hall, when you are in the exam hall, there will be total 4 hours time and you have to solve 4 case studies. So 1 case study for 1 hour you have to solve. So you have to take a PYQ, keep a timer for 1 hour, see whether you are able to solve that 1 case study within 1 hour. Not even the entire 25 marks case study, you have to solve at least some 15 to 19 marks case study in that 1 hour. Minimum this much you have to solve in that 1 hour. You have to use the index, use the study material. You have covered all the practical sums, everything you have done. What you can do now, take the case study and apply it practically. Whether you are able to solve or not, that we can check. So when you are doing, 2 things you have to note. First one is time. How much time it is taking for you to find out the answers. After you found out the answers for each and every question, now see the suggested answers. Whether your answer which you found out that you can mark it in the study material using pencil, then you can check whether that particular answer which you found out whether it is matching with the suggested answer or not. That you can see. So this is how you have to practice the case studies. When you are in the last day, you cannot write and practice each and every case study. So that will not be possible. So you can do the search practice alone. How much time it is taking for you to search, whether you are able to match the suggested answer or not. That you can check. So this index for set A and B I have given. For FRFM audit, you will already have index, or you can get some index from the Telegram that you will be using for study material. Whatever the questions, theory questions they're asking in the PYQs, you can use it from the study material only. In faculty books and all, that nook and corner theory and all will not be covered for FRAFM. But for audit also, I will recommend study material only. But whatever the book you want, you can use it. See whether you are able to find the answer and you are able to match with the suggested answer. So keep a note of time. So that's all that you have to do for IBS preparation. So first training we saw how you have to do. First do the CT and CB preparation, then do group 1 subjects preparation, then you have to do the search training. If you are a group 1 plus group 2 student, you don't have to do the studies for FRAFM audit and all. You will already know a little bit. If you want to revise a little bit, you can revise that. Then you can do the search training. Do at least for some 15 to 20 case studies. The search training. Only then you will know how to search quickly. You will get some points on what we can do so that you can search the answer and find out the answer quickly during the exam hall. So that's all about the search training. The next point is, if you are preparing for November 26 exam, but you are watching this video for knowledge purpose, what they are telling. So if you are watching for that, I have an announcement for you. We are having an IBS practice batch, which we are going to launch for November 26 students and May 27 students. What we will be doing in this batch is that I have analyzed 200 plus case studies which have been released by ICI for IBS exam, and I have taken some top 15 to 20 case studies that we will be solving during the practice batch. And I will also give you insights. What are all the topics that they are asking in IBS? What you can do for them, specifically for set B analysis type questions. So I told that I will tell you about the analysis type questions. That also I will tell you. We will see what is the analysis type question, how you can tackle that. That I will tell you. Then I will provide you all the resources which will be required for you to help you to clear the IBS exam. All the resources I will provide you. So this is the IBS practice batch. We will be solving the case studies, and I will be giving you insights. I will be doing the ranker paper analysis also. I have taken the ranker papers analysis. We will see what they have done, why they have got that much marks in IBS, how we can use the same strategies and get high marks in IBS. That we can find it out, and we can see how we can attempt the maximum marks, and then get maximum marks out of that attended, and get good marks. So, and when you are attempting the case study during the 4 hours, do not try to attempt entire 100 marks. That is not possible for doing in 4 hours. But you have to try to attempt some 80 marks with quality. Quality answers you have to write, and correct answers you have to find out. Some 80 marks when you attempt like that, automatically you will get 50, or even the worst case scenario you will get 40. So this is the thing I have told you. For this practice batch we are doing, I will give you more details about this soon. All the things that you need to clear IBS that I will be giving in the practice batch. Definitely you will get 50 or more marks after attending this batch, even if you are a group 2 only student. So that's all about the IBS practice batch. Now we can see the exam tips. What you have to do during the 4 hours exam. And I told you I will tell you about the analysis type questions. Now I will tell you here. Should be analysis type questions. What is the meaning of analysis type questions is that they will give you a case scenario, and then they will tell that analyze this situation using the Porter's 5 force model. Like that, they will give the question, descriptive question, which will be for 5 or 6 marks. Now, what you have to do is that you have to write the analysis. In suggested answers, what they will give, they will find out the answers, and they will give that. They will analyze that this has happened in the case study. Because of that, this will be happening, and then this can be countered by the company by doing these measures. Like that, they will give a lot of points. That and all you will not be able to analyze and find out and write in the exam hall during the 4-hour exam. So these type of questions are time takers. It will consume time. So this you have to keep it in the last priority. When you are writing in the exam hall, keep it in the last priority. Just from 1 or 2 questions you will get like that maximum. So you have to keep it at the last priority. This will take your time. And when you are attending also, take the model. For example, Porter's 5 force model, you can take that model in the study material, then write some points relating to that, and then link some points in the case study. In the case study, when you read, you will be identifying some points which are related to the model. Then that points you can mark and keep. Then when you are writing the answer, link that point and write something. For example, if it is a tea industry, then you can write something like in tea industry, the employees will be there. The employees will be having trade unions. Like that, you will be understanding what you have to write when you are reading the case study. Inside that case study itself, 3 to 4 pages case study, they have scattered a lot of points relating to that model. You can search those points and write it there. So that's all you can do. Keep it at the last priority and write like this. when you are writing like this, at least you will be matching some 2 or 3 points, then you will be getting some marks for attending also. We will not be able to match it 100% and get some 100% of marks on that questions, but just for attending can use this strategy. So that is for the analysis type questions in set A and set B. Then in MCQs also, we are having one different type of MCQ in IBS. So I will show you here. In January 26 paper only, we are having this MCQ in a very high amount. So here when you see case study 1 itself, when you see, the first type of MCQ is this. This is just a normal sum only, normal question only. When you find out the answer, you can match the answer with the options and then tick the option, correct option. That will be the answer. That's all. Very easy question. Very easy question means it is relatively easy. The next type of question is this. Question number 1.2. When you see question number 1.2, here we are having 4 statements. They are asking which of the following actions are permitted. What is the correct statement they are asking? You have to verify all the 4 statements. Then only you can come to the conclusion. So this will take a lot of time. That is what I am going to tell you here. When you are finding out the answer only once, this will not take that much time. But when you are doing this will take a lot of time. Keep this kind of statement type MCQs at the last. So the statement type MCQs, keep it at the last. That is what I am saying to you. And when you are keeping at last means, what is the meaning? After solving all the 4 case studies, in all the 4 case studies, leave the statement type MCQs, and then that should be analysis type questions. Leave these 2. And then solve the remaining questions. Then you will get some at least 1 hour, or you will get at least 30 minutes during the last 4 hours of the exam. In that time, you can come to the statement type questions or set B questions. At that time, you can write that. Do not spend time on the beginning itself on these questions. The next thing is, when you are doing statement type questions also, do DT and IDT first. This is for G2 students because you know that subject only very well. In statement type also, do DT and IDT portion first. Then in statement type MCQs, the main thing why I am saying this is that this will be the 4 options: option A, option B, option C, option D. Then you see here they will ask option A and B only, option C and D only, option A, B, C only, and none will be the option. So when you have to verify all the 4, find out the similarities, find out the correct, incorrect, that now will take a lot of time. Here also when you see the faces are very similar. So like this, it will be difficult in the exam hall also. So this you have to keep it at last. Next, set A and set B questions when you are attending. If you are not knowing the answer, move to the next question. Leave some blank pages. You can return to this question at last. And even if you find out the answer by spending a lot of time, it will just consume your time. You will not be able to say with guarantee that this is the correct answer. So set A and set B questions, no need to spend that much time. You can return to this question at last, and then you can re-attempt this. Just don't spend a lot of time. Don't waste time. Just skip that and move on to the next question if you are unable to find out the correct answer within a reasonable amount of time. Next, attempt the question from the subject which you know very well. For all the people, you will have some strong subject. DTIDT will be the strong subject. FR and AFM will be the strong subject for some people. Like that, the subject from which you know all the concepts and in which you are strong. Attempt those questions first. Then you can attempt the remaining questions. So these are the tips that I have given you for IBS exam. And set A amendments. When you are studying for set A, you have to study from the latest amended study material, which is applicable for May 26 and onwards. But when you are having an older study material, you have to cover the amendments. What are the amendments? That will be seen after this IBS strategy. So in this particular video itself, we will be seeing the IBS amendments also. It will be for approximately some 30 minutes. If you keep some playback speed adjustment, 1.5 speed when you keep, you can complete it within some approximately 20 minutes. So that also you can cover the city amendments in this video itself. So that's all about this IBS strategy. We have completed everything, covered all the points which you need to know related to IBS. So, and one more request before moving to the city amendment discussion. When you are writing this exam for the second time, if you have already written the IBS in the January 26 attempt and now you are writing for the second attempt, you will know a lot of points. Like what are all the mistakes that you did during the previous attempts, which you could have avoided. And what are all the points that you did not follow, but you regret that if I had followed that, I would have got some more marks, like that. Those additional points from your experience. That and all you can share it in the comments so that people who are writing it for the first time, they will know what mistakes they should not do, what points they should definitely follow. That they will know. So this you can do it as a favor for me. All the people who are writing for the first time, they will be benefited because of this. People who are having experience, they should share the points, only then it will be helpful for the other students. So this you can do it as a favor and put the comment for me here. Then another point, after when you complete the exam, then also you can come to this video and make a comment regarding what was your experience relating to the IBS exam, how these tips and tricks helped you, whether these tips and tricks were useful or some other points which you would like to add. That and all you can write, because this will help the people who are going to write in the upcoming attempts. So this also will be a favor for me from your side. So this you have to do for me. And this question, the statement type MCQ point that I found out from the January 26 students only, because many of them told that the time was not sufficient. When we analyzed, we saw that a lot of questions were like statement type MCQs. So that will be taking a lot of time. Because of that only, they experienced a lack of time feeling. So like this, when you share your points also, it will be helpful for the students. So that's all about this IBS strategy. Now we can do the city amendments discussion. And if you have found this video useful or you found these points useful, this gave you an idea about the IBS, you can like this video, share this to your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow this YouTube channel for further more updates. Now go and study properly for your IBS exam. All the best. Now we can see the city amendments discussion. Now we can start to see the amendments in CETA law. This is applicable for May 2026 exams and onwards. For both IBS exam and CETA exams, you can refer to this. So the amendments are there in SEBI regulations and then economic laws, Foreign Exchange Management Act, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, and then the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. So in these only we are having amendments. The first amendment we can see from LODR regulations. The first point is in maximum number of directorships. This is an important point. It may be asked in CETA exams and IBS exams also. So focus here. So when you see Companies Act, what is the limit? A person can be a director in maximum 20 companies in the same time. But in SEBI LODR regulations, which is for the listed entities, a person can be a director in maximum 7 listed entities. Then a person can be an independent director in maximum 7 listed entities. Then if the person is already a MD or WTD in a listed entity, then he can be an independent director in maximum 3 listed entities. So this is the limit. There is no change in this limit. This was there previous also and now also the same limit. But now the change has come in the place of listed entity. What is the meaning of listed entity? Listed entity means an entity whose equity shares are listed and high value debt that is also listed. So if one company is there, for that, equity shares are listed. That will also be considered as a listed entity. Another company is there. That company has listed debt. It is a high value debt listed entity. Then that company will also be considered under listed entity. So either equity shares or high value debt listed entity. These two will come under the listed entities. Alternate directorship. Now it is included in the count. When you are doing an alternate directorship, that will also be counted in this limit. Next, exclusion. Ex officio directorship. When you are a director because of your some other position. For example, in a PSU, you are in some official position, or public-private partnership entity, you are in an official position. Because of that, you are a director. Then that position will not be counted in the above limit. The next point is complaints officer. Complaints officer should be a senior employee. The complaints officer should be whole-time employment. So the complaints officer should be a whole-time employee of the company. And then he should be one level below the board of directors. The board of directors are there, and then one level below. Here the company secretary, who is the complaints officer, he should be there here, complaints officer. The interpretation is the complaints officer should directly report to the board of directors. In such a manner, the hierarchy should be there. Next, designation. He should be designated as key managerial personnel. So complaints officer should be coming under key managerial personnel. Then he cannot be an external consultant. You cannot take an external consultant and say that he is the complaints officer. He should be in full-time employment under the company. Next, during insolvency, when a company is undergoing insolvency and it is not having a complaints officer, after the resolution plan is approved, then what will happen? The resolution plan is approved, but the complaints officer is not there. Within 3 months of the approval of resolution plan, you have to appoint a complaints officer. Then during the 3 months, within 3 months you have to appoint. During that, in between 3 months, one full-time key managerial personnel should manage the day-to-day operations until the appointment. That work in between the 3 months, it should be done by the full-time key managerial personnel. After that, we will appoint within that we should appoint the complaints officer, and he will take on that work. Next, secretarial audit, regulation 24A. When you are a listed entity and your material unlisted subsidiaries incorporated in India. For every listed entity, this is applicable, and the material unlisted subsidiaries incorporated in India of such a listed entity will also undergo secretarial audit. Secretarial audit is mandatory for all these people. Now, the requirement: the secretarial auditor, he should be a peer-reviewed company secretary. It may be an individual company secretary or a firm of company secretary, but it should be peer-reviewed. Reporting: the report of the secretarial auditor, the final report which is given by the secretarial auditor, it should be annexed to the annual report of the listed entity. Then the term of individual. If an individual company secretary is appointed, the maximum term is one term of 5 consecutive years. Then if you are appointing a company secretary firm, then maximum 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. One term, 5 years. So 2 term means total 10 years. You can appoint a single firm. Approval. You should get the shareholder approval in the annual general meeting. Next, quarterly and periodic compliances. They have changed the timelines. Within this much time, you have to file the quarterly report. Within this much time, you have to file the corporate governance report. The timelines they have changed. So, investor complaints. For all this, they have changed the timelines to timelines specified by SEBI. Earlier, there had been 21 days timeline. But now they have amended it and given that timeline specified by SEBI. Whatever the SEBI is giving the notification, that timeline will be applicable. So for investor complaint, within the timeline as specified by SEBI, you should show the pending complaint, received complaint, disposed complaint, or unresolved complaint. So they may ask, during the year, the company had pending complaint 19, and then the received complaint, they received 1, and then they disposed the complaint of 2, and then unresolved complaint, how much? Like that they may ask you. So you have to add and do this and find out the answer. That will be a very easy question only, but this type of question also, it may come. So that's why you should know, for investor complaint, within the timeline specified by SEBI, these pending, received, disposed, and unresolved complaint, this should be shown in that report. Next, corporate governance report. This also should be filed within the timeline specified by the SEBI. Currently, the timeline is 30 days, and annual report should be submitted within 6 months of financial year end. The annual report you have to submit within 6 months of financial year ending. Next, financial results quarterly and year to date. The interim financial information that you have to submit within 45 days from the end of the quarter, except the last quarter. Next, when the company is undergoing IBC and the resolution plan is getting approved, so the resolution plan, when it is getting approved, you have to see two things: whether it is approved in the first 3 quarters or it is approved in the last quarter. That you have to see. If it is approved in the first 3 quarters, then you have to submit the results within 90 days from the end of that quarter. The financial results, the interim financial results, you have to submit within 90 days from the end of the quarter for the first 3 quarters. When IBC cases are going, IBC, insolvency resolution process is going on, resolution plan is approved, then you have to submit the results within 90 days from the end of the quarter for the first 3 quarters. Then, when the resolution plan is approved in the last quarter, the annual complaints for 60 days will apply. Within 60 days, you have to submit. Normally, 90 days you will get when the resolution plan is approved in the first 3 quarters. When the resolution plan is approved in the last quarter, then 60 days timeline will apply. Next, prior intimation to the recognized stock exchange. When you are doing dividend, right issue, bonus issue, conversion of debenture, merger, demerger, you have to intimate to the recognized stock exchange. So, at least 3 working days before the record date, you have to inform it to the recognized stock exchange. The 3 working days, you should exclude the date of intimation and the record date. Record date here you are having, and then the date of intimation here you are having. In the state only you are intimating the stock exchange. This is the record date. In between also 3 days should be there. So that is the thing. Next thing is corporate governance with reference to the subsidiaries. Material subsidiary definition. Now the definition is turnover or net worth, which is more than 20% of the consolidated total of the previous year. Previous year turnover, net worth. The turnover or net worth of the subsidiary is more than 20% of the consolidated total in the previous year, turnover or net worth. So 20% is the limit, more than 20%. Next, when you are disposing of more than 20% assets of the material subsidiary, the material subsidiary has 100 crore assets, you are selling 30 crore assets. So more than 20% of the assets you are selling. Then what you have to do, you have to get the approval from the shareholders by getting a special resolution. Special resolution you should pass, only then you can sell that much assets. New exemption. You are having some 2 points where this special resolution is not required. When it is a disposal between 2 wholly owned subsidiaries of the same listed entity, the listed entity is there, 2 wholly owned subsidiaries is there, subsidiary 1, subsidiary 2. In both the subsidiaries, 100% ownership is there with the listed entity only. So this subsidiary's assets, 30% they are selling to subsidiary 2. So in this case, no need to obtain the special resolution. Next, disposal under a court or tribunal scheme or IBC resolution plan. When you are disposing the assets under a scheme of court or tribunal or resolution plan approved, then in that case, no need to get the special resolution. But you need to give the disclosure to the recognized stock exchange within 1 day. So, recognized stock exchange disclosure should be there, but special resolution not needed. Next point, committee membership limits. Chairmanship committee, the chairmanship of audit committee, membership of multiple committees. In that, there are limits. So for chairmanship, we are having a limit for how many committees a person can be the chairman, and then membership in audit and stakeholder relationship committee. For audit committee and then stakeholder relationship committee alone, we will count the maximum membership, only this much you can be. So all the public limited companies, 1 person can be a member in audit committees and stakeholder relationship committees, only total this much. So total 10 membership only should be there. If that is the limit, then the total committees, the total membership of all the committees, audit committees and then stakeholder relationship committees, only these committees, total should be up to 10 only. So that is the limit here. All public limited companies, listed or unlisted, and high value debt listed entities. So if you are a member in audit committee or stakeholder relationship committee in a listed entity or public listed company or high value debt listed entity, then that you have to count it. Then excluded from count private limited companies, foreign companies, and Section 8 companies. So when you are a member or chairman of the audit committee or stakeholder relationship committee, that will not be counted in the limit. In the SEBI LODR regulation, we are having the committee membership limit. In that limit, this will be counted. This will not be counted. Earlier also in the directorship limit, we had included the high value debt listed entity because of the amendment. So here also they are including the corresponding thing. Here also high value debt listed entity they are including. So the next thing is Regulation 21 Risk Management Committee. The maximum gap between two consecutive meetings has been increased to 210 days. Previously 180 days. Risk Management Committee, for multiple committees, we are having the time limit for meeting also. At least in one financial year, you have to meet 3 times or 4 times. Then the maximum gap should be 180 days only. Like that, we are having some limit. For Risk Management Committee, earlier 180 days limit was there. Maximum gap between two committees, two meetings. That has been increased to 210 days. So earlier when you are having one meeting, within next 180 days, you should keep another meeting. But now that limit has increased to 210 days. Next, that's all about the SEBI LODR regulations amendments. Now we can see the SEBI ICDR regulations. In this, what are the amendment we are having? The applicability. ICDR regulations will be applicable when these things are happening. When an unlisted issuer is doing an initial public offer, when a listed issuer is doing a further public offer, like this, in various cases, these regulations you should follow. Earlier, when a listed company is doing a rights issue, then the issue size is 50 crores or more. Only then the ICDR will apply. Listed issuer, right issue, only 50 crore or more. Then only ICDR will apply. But now this 50 crore limit they took out. So for all the right issue by a listed issuer, the ICDR will apply. So that is the thing. 5. Eligibility to make IPO. So when you are having outstanding convertible securities and all, you should first convert it. Then only you can do the IPO. But now we are having the exemption. Generally, what is the rule? When you are having outstanding convertible securities or right entitlement, right issue you are having, you are not eligible to file the offer document. But now we are having the exception. In this case, the issuer will be eligible. Use of outstanding employee stock option plan. When you are having this, you will still be eligible. Then stock appreciation right held by past or present employees. Now, what is the condition is that when you are having this in your company, you should convert it into shares before filing the red herring prospectus or the prospectus. You should convert it before filing the prospectus. At the time of filing the offer document, no need to do anything. But when you are filing the red herring prospectus or prospectus, you should convert it into shares. Then disclosure. Whatever the number of equity shares that are resulting, that you have to disclose it in the red herring prospectus or the prospectus. How much shares it came when you are converting this stock appreciation rights, that you have to mention it in that document. Fully paid securities. When the securities are convertible on or before the date of filing prospectus, then okay. Earlier, at the time of filing the offer document itself, you should not have anything outstanding. But here they have given that for stock appreciation right and fully paid security, before filing the prospectus, if you convert it into shares, then that is okay. Next, Regulation 14, minimum promoter contribution in case of IPO. So normally what is the minimum promoter contribution? 20% of post-issue capital. Now, if they cannot meet the 20% requirement alone, the promoter should have 20% of shares in the post-issue capital. So that is the requirement. If they cannot meet it separately by themselves, they can invite others also to contribute for that 20% requirement. Shortfall up to 10% of post-issue capital can be met by alternative investment fund, foreign venture capitalist, and then scheduled commercial bank, public financial institution, insurance companies which are registered with IRDA. So these people can come and contribute. They can purchase some shares, and that will also be considered in the 20% minimum requirement for the promoter. So here they have added 2 more people who can come and purchase the shares, which will also be considered for the minimum promoter contribution. So the first one is public shareholders, non-individual holding 5% or more. So non-individual public shareholders who are having 5% or more shares, post-issue capital, they can purchase more post-issue capital, and then they can contribute to the requirement. Next, any promoter group entity other than the promoter himself. In the promoter group, some entity they can come and purchase the shares. That will also be considered in the promoter contribution only. Next, if there is no promoter, then the 20% requirement does not apply. Okay. The next one is public announcement and advertisement. When you are doing the public announcement, you have to host the draft offer document. What is the meaning of hosting the draft offer document? You have to make it available. The draft offer document, make it public. Allow the public to access it. You should post that document in SEBI website, stock exchange website, and then the lead manager website. In those websites, the document should be available. The public should be accessing it. So, from the date of public announcement, for at least 21 days, that offer document should be remaining public. Then only you can go to the next step. Next, advertisement. Pre-issue advertisement and price band advertisement. This all you should do in the same newspaper in which you are giving the public announcement under this regulation 124. Under regulation 124 also I have to give the public announcement. So the pre-issue and price band advertisement, that also should be in the same newspaper. Okay. Next one is reporting requirement. when there is any promoter transaction, any transaction between the promoter and promoter group from the date of filing of a document, draft of a document till the date of closure must be reported to the stock exchange within 24 hours. So from the date of filing draft of the document till the date of closure, when you are doing any transaction, promoter is doing any transaction with the promoter group, then you should report the transaction to the stock exchange within 24 hours. Next one is pre-IPO placement, a private sale of shares just before the IPO. When you are doing a private sale of shares just before the IPO, that you have also disclosed in the draft of the document, that when you are doing the transaction, within 24 hours of the transaction, you have to report it to the stock exchange. Already in the draft of the document, you have mentioned that transaction. We are going to do the transaction. After doing the transaction also, within 24 hours, report it to the stock exchange. Next, they have deleted one point. The requirement of lead manager to submit post-issue report and due diligence certificate within 7 days has been deleted in the latest updates. So, lead manager has to submit the post-issue report and due diligence certificate within 7 days. That requirement was there previously, but now it is deleted. So, that point also I have given here. Next, that's all about the ICDR regulations amendment. If you have already studied the regulations only, you will be able to connect with this. So, if I start to explain each and every point for that regulation, it will take a lot of time. So, I am just giving an overview. The next point is substantial acquisition of shares and takeover regulations. Here we can see what all the amendments we are having. Enterprise value in definitions. The definition of enterprise value, the definition is now market capital plus debt plus minority interest along with the preferential you have to add it. Then reduce the cash and cash equivalent. This will be the enterprise value. This is the definition for enterprise value under the SEBI regulations. Next, frequently traded shares. What is the criteria for a share to be frequently traded? When the share will be considered as frequently traded? When the trading turnover during the 12 calendar months preceding the month of public announcement is 10% of the total number of listed shares. So, public announcement you will be doing, open offer you will be giving, public announcement you will be doing for that open offer. Then, during that open offer, public announcement, the public announcement, for example, you are doing in 1 month, the preceding 12 months. So, public announcement, for example, you are doing in October, the previous months, September, then in August, then July, all these months you have to take. Excluding this October, previous 12 months you have to take. And in those 12 months, what is the trading turnover of the share? Trading turnover means how much shares have been sold. How much shares sold during those 12 months that you have to take. If that is more than 10% of the total number of shares, 10% or more. If that shares is 10% or more, then that will be called as a frequently traded shares. The month in which you are making the public announcement, preceding 12 months, you have to take the trading turnover, and if that is 10% of the total number of listed shares, then the share will be considered as frequently traded. If you are having any bonus or rights issue during the year, you can take the weighted average number of shares. Next, identify the date. So when you are having the open offer and all, there will be an identified date. It is the cutoff date for determining the shareholders who will receive the letter of offer. The open offer should be communicated to the shareholders of the company. So on which date you have to take the shareholders? On which date you have to take the list of shareholders and give them the open offer. For these shareholders only, we will send the open offer letter. So when you see on which date we have to take the shareholder list, so that is the identified date. So, what is the identified date? It should be 10 working days before the start of tendering period. Tendering period means the offer period in which the shareholders can offer their shares to the company which is making the open offer. So, before that offering period, tendering period, 10 working days. Before that will be the identified date. Next, other definitions. Immediate relative, we have the definition, and then tendering period they have given. Next, working day. Any working day of the board will be considered as a working day for the purpose of regulations, substantial acquisition of shares and takeover regulations. So the next thing is insider trading regulations. So that's all about the takeover regulations. Now we can move to the insider trading. Here the insider trading regulations. What is the meaning of insider? A connected person or a person who is having unpublished price sensitive information. So what is the meaning of unpublished price sensitive information? Here when you see any non-public information relating to a company or securities, which if you are announcing it publicly, it will materially affect the price. So the price of the share will be affected when you are publicly announcing that particular information. Then that information is called as unpublished price sensitive information. The detailed inclusion they have given here. But till for just an introduction, this is the UPSI, and when you are having UPSI, that information, you will be considered an insider for the purpose of this regulations. So the burden of proof. So when an insider trading allegation is coming, who should prove that they were not trading on the basis of UPSI? So if it is a connected person, so when you are a connected person, the person should prove that he did not have the UPSI at the time of trading. When you are trading, you should not have the UPSI. That is the main intention of this regulations. So when you are trading, you should not have UPSI. When you are a connected person and an insider trading allegation is coming, the person, the connected person should prove that he did not have the UPSI when he was doing the trading. So that burden is on the connected person. Other cases, the board, SEBI should prove that you had the UPSI. You are a normal person, you are not a connected person. Then when an insider trading allegation is coming on you, the SEBI board should prove that you had UPSI when you were doing the trading. Next, connected person. Any person associated with the company in any capacity. When you are in a contract or fiduciary capacity or employment or director officer, in any capacity, when you are working with the company, when you are associated with the company, which provides you access to UPSI, you are in a position that you will be able to access the unpublished price sensitive information of the company. Then you will be a connected person. You are a directly connected person. Then here we are having a list. These people will be called as deemed connected persons. They are not directly connected under this definition, but they are connected to the connected person, so they will be deemed connected person. Relatives of connected person, holding associate subsidiary companies, intermediaries, their employees or directors. Intermediaries means stockbroker. These people and all will handle the information, many information like financial information, everything will be handled by these people. So they will be considered as a deemed connected person. Then investment company, trustee company, asset management company, their employees, their directors, officials of stock exchanges and clearing corporations, all these people will be deemed to be connected persons. Next, we are having two important points here. When you see category D, investment company, trustee company, asset management company, and their employees or directors. So here, any person is a connected person. As per point D above, as per point D, if any person is a connected person, and he is a partner of a firm. The entire firm, its partners and employees are treated as connected person. For example, a person is a director of an investment company. Then this person, director, is also a partner in one firm. Then what will happen? The entire firm, all the partners of the firm, all the partners and then all the employees and all the persons in that firm will be considered to be connected persons. So that's what they have given here. If a person is a connected person because of point D, and such person is a partner of a firm, the entire firm, its partners, employees, everyone will be treated as connected persons. Any person sharing a household or residence with a person mentioned in point D. Any person who is sharing a household or residence under a person who is deemed to be connected under point D. Point D person, 2 points we are having. When point D person you are sharing a household with him, then you will also be considered as a deemed connected person. Next thing is generally available information. Two information we are having. One is generally available information. Second one is unpublished price sensitive information. Generally available information means it is available to the public on a non-discriminatory basis. Everyone knows that. It is published on a stock exchange website, or it is published on the company website, or it is published in the newspapers. Those information will be considered as generally available information. Then unpublished price sensitive information. We already saw what is the basic meaning. The inclusions are financial result, when you're doing merger, demerger, the information relating to that, changes in the managerial personnel, resignation of the auditor, any change in the credit rating of the company. The credit rating will be there for the company for borrowing the loans. If there is any change, that will be an unpublished price sensitive information. If there is a fraud by the company, promoter, KMP, director, subsidiary, or there is an arrest of the KMP, promoter, director, all this will be coming under UPSI. Forensic audit. If any forensic audit is started on the company and the final report of the forensic audit is done, then that will also be UPSI. If winding up application is filed and the application is submitted, then if the application for corporate insolvency resolution process is filed and that is submitted, then if a resolution plan is approved or rejected, this and all will have an impact on the share price. So this will be considered as UPSI. Then outcome of the litigation. If there is any case going on against the company, the outcome of that case. Guarantee or surety, non-routine. When the company is giving a guarantee or surety for some borrower, then that is not in the ordinary course of business. Then in that case, it will be considered as a UPSI. Key license for regulatory approval. For example, the company has an important regulatory approval pending that is granted or that is withdrawn, that is surrendered, that is cancelled by the regulatory authority, or it is suspended, then that will be considered as a UPSI. This will impact the share price because it is directly related to the business of that particular company. Loan borrowed, restructuring or one-time settlement of the loan. When you are borrowing a loan and you are doing restructuring of that loan, you are changing the repayment schedule by communicating with the bankers that you are unable to pay. This shows a weak financial structure of the company. The company is unable to meet the loan repayment. This is a bad thing for the financial health of the company. So that will affect the share price. So that is UPSI. So when you are seeing credit rating, ESG rating will not be considered. Environmental, social, governance rating, that will incorporate all the pollution done by the company, all the corporate governance related matters. That also will be considered when they are giving the ESG rating. So that is not a UPSI. Then if you are doing any change to the change in KMP due to the superannuation or term end, so in that case also it will not come under the UPSI. As per the terms of contract itself, the position is ending. Then in that case, it will not come under UPSI. Next, structured digital database. When you are sharing UPSC to any person, you should maintain it in a database. To whom you are sharing, the name, the nature of the UPSC that is shared, name and PAN of the person who shared it, name and PAN of the person who received it. All that should be maintained in a structured digital database. It should be maintained internally. You cannot outsource it to any person. That is, the server should be maintained by the company. It should have adequate internal controls and all. Then, if the UPSI is coming from outside the organization, the company should record it within 2 calendar days. Okay, within 2 calendar days, you have to enter it in that database, structured digital database. So this is the database that you have to maintain. This internally maintaining point and these data that should be recorded, these two are important points. Next, SEMA. When you are doing export of goods, the exporter should declare the full value of the goods or software which you are exporting. But certain items, the value of those will not be included in the full value. What are all those items? Ships, stores, transshipment cargo, goods for military, naval, air force, that and all will not come under the full value. No need to declare the value of those goods. Additionally, they have added these things also: tugs for tugboats, dredgers, vessels used for providing offshore support services. These items, even if you are sending along with the export, no need to add it to the full value. Condition for exemption. This exemption is strictly subject to the re-import into India. You should again bring these things into India. Only then that is applicable. If you are permanently sending these things, then it should be added to the full value. Next, FCRA. In FCRA, when you are receiving the foreign contribution, there is a limit on the administrative expense. So, foreign contribution, why you are getting? To do the social work, to do good for the society. But when you are using all that thing in admin expense, what will come under admin expense? The legal fees, the salary to the accountant, and then all the administrative things will come under admin expense. How much you can spend for this administrative purpose? We are having a limit on that. That is 20%. Cannot spend more than 20% of foreign contribution in one financial year on administrative expense. So still the 20% limit only is there. But when you want to exceed that limit, we need the central government approval. The next thing is, when you are having unspent limit in one financial year, you are having 20% limit. For example, you are getting 100 crore for foreign contribution, 20 crore you can spend in administrative expense. But this year you were able to spend only 15 crore. Now you can carry forward this 5 crore limit that you are having. Total 20 crore allowed, but actually you done only 15 crore. This 5 crore unutilized limit that you are having, you can carry forward to the next year, immediately succeeding financial year. For the 1 year, you can carry forward that particular remaining amount. Next, IBC. Section 12, the time limit for completion of CIRP. So, the resolution professional cannot file for a time extension on his own. The resolution professional must be instructed by the committee of creditors to file the application with adjudicating authority for extending the time limit of CIRP. In the corporate insolvency resolution process, we are having a time limit within which we have to complete that. When you want to extend that, the resolution professional should get an instruction from the committee of creditors. Then only the resolution professional can give an application to the adjudicating authority. Next, continuity of duties. When the application for extension is pending, the resolution professional should do the work normally. He should not stop the work and all. He should continue to discharge the duty even when the application is pending. Next, meeting of committee of creditor. When you are having a committee of creditor, they will be doing the meeting, and in that meeting, who will be present? All the financial creditor will be present. When you are not having the financial creditor, the operational creditor will be present, and then workman representative, those people and all will be present. So they will be present when you are not having the financial creditor. So these people will be there in the meeting. You can keep the directors also, you can keep the promoters also. Those people can attend the meeting, but only these people will have the voting rights. And the committee of creditors also has one power. They can invite some people. They can invite some people to attend the meeting. Just they will attend the meeting as observers. So they will not have any voting right, but they will attend the meeting as observers. The committee of creditors has that power to invite some people. So they have added one more power. The competent authority can be invited. What is the competent authority under the RERA Act? They can invite the competent authority under the RERA Act. The definition for competent authority is given under this section for the RERA Act. They will provide the input on project development matters. They will be invited as an observer by the committee of creditors. Next, financiers, providers of interim finance to the corporate debtor. When the company is undergoing the resolution process, and during that in-between period, they need some interim finance, some kind of temporary loan they want, then the providers of such loan, they can also be invited to the meetings by the committee without any voting rights. These people, they will be invited to the meeting, but they will not have any voting rights. So that is the meaning of this amendment. So we have covered all the amendments. In a detailed manner we have covered. So that's all about the amendments which are there for CTA law. This is applicable for May 26 and onwards. All the amendments we have covered. So that's all about the amendments.